and welcome back to my channel. My name is Hannah from Whole Foodie Challenge. Welcome if you're new to this channel. Please be sure to give a little like and a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. This week I am gonna do a part 2 of my Costco haul, what I've gotten from the haul, and really I'm trying to clean out my cupboards. So from the last video you saw, I did a lot of shopping, and that was actually a couple months ago. I did one other Costco shop in between, a smaller one, and so now I'm gonna show you what I've got left in my cupboards and fridge. And we're gonna try and make a recipe today using only the stuff in my cupboard. I also have my CSA box. So that is one thing that is helping me through the summer, is I get a week of produce from Rake and Radish. I have a video that I posted last year that I'll put up in the cards about the CSA. If you haven't done one before, I highly recommend it. Another thing that I wanted to share is my friend Sophie from Sophisticated Organization is doing a similar video trying to get through her pantry. If you don't follow her already, you should definitely check her out. She is amazing. She's so inspirational, so organized. She did a 6-month declutter challenge, which is something I definitely need to do. And I had her on my Instagram channel, Calling All Foodies, a couple months back, talking about how to be organized in the kitchen. So be sure to check out her video as well and give her a follow. You won't regret it. Okay, so it's time to go in the kitchen, and I'm gonna show you what I've done so far, or sorry, what I've eaten so far in the past couple months. Okay, let's start with my pantry. It's an old apartment, so it's kind of, an old pantry. As you can see, it's still quite full, and I did happen to get a few things in between. My nuts and seeds from Costco are doing really well. I'm hoping that by the end of the summer, I can really empty that out. I'm getting there. You'd be surprised how many nuts and seeds I have, and baking things as well. This looks really full, but I actually am eating through a lot of it, trying to finish this flour. And then this is homemade protein powder that I've made. So I'm gonna make some smoothies and things with that, and use everything through. And then the bottom is just my overflow. I've got some popcorn. This I picked up on my last haul. It's huge. I'm taking this on a road trip with my family. We will eat through this, but it's vegan, and I'm really excited to try it. And it's got pretty healthy-ish ingredients. It's not terrible, right? So I'm excited to try this, and I'll report back. Okay, now for the freezer. I'm actually really impressed by this. It's usually shoved full. I keep most of my spices and things in the drawers, but here I only have ice pretty much on this side, and ice packs. And then this is some frozen cherries. I'm already done half the bag. This is almost empty. It's just frozen mangoes and bananas. So I think I'm gonna make an ice cream this week and some corn on the top. And then this is my overflow stuff, seeds and stuff like that I want to freeze. I bought these last trip. I don't really like them, to be honest. They're high in protein, which is nice, but I'm gonna have to make enchiladas or something with those. And then I've been really craving veggie meatballs, so I got this just for easy things, and then the chicken cutlets and veggie burgers. So that's pretty much all I've got right now. I'm really doing well with the freezer. pretty empty. I'm gonna try and get through the summer without going to Costco again for stuff, because I've got like the salad dressing will last me the whole time, as well as the olives I snack on. I love this kombucha, but I'm starting to make my own, so I think that will be okay. And yeah, like this is the produce I have from the CSA, so not a ton, but this will last me the week. I'm going to make, I think, a borscht or something this week with it. And yeah, and then I guess the only thing that's going to be tricky is I really love this oat milk, and I'm down to my last one, so I might pick up some more, or I might just try and make my own. But yeah, I'm really impressed by how much I'm getting through already. Okay, so now I'm gonna get started in the kitchen. I am going to make a reuben today, which is made of Swiss cheese, like it's a sandwich, made of Swiss cheese, corned beef or something like that, I don't know, sauerkraut, and like 1,000 island dressing. So I'm gonna try and recreate it plant-based with like all the stuff in the pantry that I've been wanting to use up. So I'm using this vegan cheese cookbook by Jules Aran and some bread I got from a local bakery to make the reuben. This is a really interesting little attachment for the Vitamix, and it makes smaller servings. I find it helps a lot with making vegan cheese. And this vegan cheese is just a base of, well, they use Brazil nuts in the recipe, but I used cashews, and then nutritional yeast, mustard seed, a bunch of spices, and agar-agar, which is kind of the binding gel, which you'll see in a minute. I'm blending all the main ingredients except for the agar-agar, and you'll see it's nice and thick. And then in a saucepan, I'm adding water and the agar-agar and just whisking it until it's dissolved. I'll put it on the stove to heat and add it to the mixture. You'll see I've also had a dish that I've just lined with saran wrap so that it'll come out easily from the container. I'm gonna blend the gel into the kind of base that I've made, the vegan cheese base, and now it'll pour perfectly into the mold that I've created. Okay, now I'm going to make the seitan. And one thing I'm really excited about is it uses this Vital Wheat gluten, which has like quite a bit of protein in it, 23 grams per quarter cup size. And we use 3 cups, so it's going to be really good. And the best before date on this is September 8th, so I really want to use it up. I already have some from a previous container, so I'm just going to put some in my container, fill it up again, and put the rest in here. I don't know about you, but I love mason jars. I find they're just great for flowers and things. So in this bowl, I'm mixing the rest of the ingredients, so all the dry ingredients together. It's got nutritional yeast and spices, and then the Vital Wheat gluten, and then what I like to do in my Vitamix is make the broth, so I just added water with the veggie broth bouillon cubes, and then I'm adding all the other liquid ingredients to it and blending it, and I just find it's so much easier. I already had the blender a bit dirty, so it was easy enough to just rinse and throw all the ingredients in. And then you just stir everything together. It gets really kind of wet and weird looking. The liquid just really soaks up, and you can tell it's this big wet loaf, but once you bake it for 90 minutes in 2 layers of tin foil, and it just swells in the inside of the tin foil, kind of steams within, and makes this beautiful kind of crusty seitan. It looks kind of unappealing, I'm not gonna lie, but it is a great protein replacement for someone who wants to eat less meat. And I didn't put this in the video, I cut it out, but I did clean the cutting board before putting the foil on it. So I love seitan because, as you can tell, this made such a big amount and it's going to last me 4 months. I can cut it and freeze it. Ooh. Look at that! It's about to burst. It's hard to the touch. It's definitely expanded. I'm gonna let it cool here for a few minutes and then we're gonna open it up. It's like a vegetarian meatloaf. I know. It is quite lovely tasting, although it does look a little bit strange. I'm now making the dressing, which is kind of like a Thousand Island. I'm using this vegan Hellmann's mayo, which I love. And I put everything again in a mason jar. I just find it that much easier to shake and make a dressing. I'm adding my homemade ketchup, some chopped garlic, some chopped onion, and some white vinegar, and then some relish. It's really easy with a little bit of salt and pepper. I'm throwing in a little bit of Worcester, vegan Worcester, as well as some liquid smoke just to give it that real punch and flavor. But this dressing is so good. I highly recommend it. I just Googled kind of like a vegan Thousand Island dressing, and I will put below the one that I used. So now that the seitan has cooled, I'm going to slice it up, and I use a really sharp chef's knife to cut it as thinly as possible. If you have a mandolin, it also works well. I'm taking this cheese out. Now, I'm not gonna lie guys, I wasn't as impressed with the cheese. I've made a few different recipes from this cookbook and they've all been amazing. So I don't know if it's just the amount of flavor or things that I added to the cheese, but I found it kind of soft, as you can see. Didn't slice as well as I'd like, and the flavor just wasn't as great. But adding all the other ingredients, so I'm adding mustard here, my Thousand Island dressing, and the sauerkraut, along with the seitan, which I really enjoyed the seitan. It really made a pretty flavorful sandwich, and I did like it in the end. I just probably would do a different cheese next time. Eating of the sandwich, and my face was cut off on the whole thing, but you get the gist. I'm going to give you a close-up here at this angle of the sandwich. That's so much flavor. I love mustard. I don't know about you, but I love a good mustard. Now that you watched me make the most blandest looking sandwich of all time, even though it tasted good, I'm now going to use the rest of the oranges in my fridge and make a fun little cocktail for the end of my week, which is sometimes how I love to end on a Sunday, is an early dinner and a cocktail. So I'm using my juicer here and juicing 5 oranges. I won't use all the juice for this cocktail, but I wanted quite a bit left over so I could drink it for the next couple days in the morning. Now I'm gonna add a giant ice cube to my glass, get my cocktail shaker ready, and I'm just kind of winging it, but I'm adding a little bit of grapefruit juice in the bottom, adding the freshly squeezed orange juice, a little bit of Aperol. I think I'm doing a shot here, and then I'm going to add some vodka to it as well. You gotta stir it up. And then I'm just straining it over top. Look at this color, it's just stunning. I'm topping it with a bit of soda too, just so it's not super duper sweet. joining me this week. And if you haven't, well, thank you for getting this far in the video. And be sure to check out Sophie at Sophisticated Organization. She's doing awesome things. Let's get through our pantries together. I'm gonna do another episode coming up about what we're gonna do with the veggies that I get, how to keep them fresh long term. So that's another thing, that I can use all the stuff in the pantry, but it's the fridge. Like, how do I get through it without it going bad besides juicing everything? By the way, this is really good. Anyways, thank you so much, and please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you soon.